exciting to be able to minister live and let you guys know ahead of time what we're doing and what you can be doing to make a difference. Because, matter of fact, I'm going to come over here real quick and see if we can do the Facebook Live, since a lot of you are just struggling. Maybe I can do both, huh? Maybe we can do both. Can we do both? Let's see if we can do both. Okay, let's see if we can do that, huh? Because a lot of people are struggling. It's like, Joe, I can't see you. I don't know what's going on. Okay, now we're live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook. Got you both covered, okay? And we're gonna try to make this work, okay? We're gonna try to make this work for you guys, because I know some of you are struggling. You're like, Joe, where are you? Where are you? I said, well, I'm right here, my friends. I'm right here. And let's see if we can get this set up right. And I know you can hear me. I've tested the microphone already. Okay. And we are live. Starting live video. Okay. So we should be live on Facebook. We should be live on YouTube as well. I'm trying to cover both ways because everyone's struggling today. And I love y'all, appreciate y'all. A lot of you were like just having trouble understanding what's going on. So now I want to take a look, see where everyone's seeing me at, because after all, we have a couple days before the storm comes, and I want to make sure you guys are understanding what's going on. You know, I want to say hello to Lori. I want to say hello to Rhonda. I want to say hello to Cindy. I know a lot of you are into homeless ministries, and you guys in Tampa, if you tuned in, Pastor, I told you, I asked you to come on by. And if you get into the YouTube and you get into the place where you can have your webcam, I'll invite you on the broadcast so you can tell me and tell folks what you're doing out there in Tampa with the homeless. I know you're providing some shelter, and that's what it's all about, for us to network together. My friend Cindy, I works with ministries on OBT, I understand, in Orlando, and she's doing her part to spread the gospel, you know. And I've been the OBT trailblazer for years, and most of my people are no longer on OBT. They all got jobs and they got their benefits, and they're just not there no more. We've already helped them, and we're moving to a new group of people, and we're regrouping for the winter. But right now we got Storm Irma coming, and here's what y'all need to know. And we're going to take a minute right now to pray, and I just want to take a moment and say, hey, you guys, are you paying attention to what's going on? So let's share this live feed that's on Facebook, because a lot of you on Facebook are not aware that I was on YouTube. And so we're going to make sure that you guys understand we are live, and I'm going to share it on many groups all at the same time. National Homelessness, welcome aboard. National Let's see if we can get National Homeless. I have a group called National Homeless. All righty. We'll do one at a time. All righty. We are live. Let's do We Are Live. And that's the thing. A lot of you are not aware of all the ministries that I have going on online. There's a reason I call myself the social evangelist. It's not because it's a fancy name. I'm actually on more groups than you guys could ever realize. So as you guys are watching right now, there you are. There you are. I see you people. I see you people. I'm going to take a moment and do something with the YouTube that I can't do with the Facebook. And that's what we're going to do, is show all the different places right now, because you know what? National Homelessness, Facebook.com, national homelessness. You need to know about that. And I need to get out of that right now that I just clicked on. Okay, almost messed up there. But I see you guys. I see you, Rhonda. I know my sweetheart's watching on the Roku, and some of you guys are tuning in on Facebook. God bless y'all. God bless y'all. Much love to y'all. And so whether you're watching through YouTube, whether you're watching through Facebook, guess what? The message is still the same. We got a few days before the storm is coming, and here's what the Lord's put on my heart. We're going to pray. We're going to take a moment to talk about a few things. And let me see something here. Okay, there I am there. So I mean, I'm on Twitter. Everything seems to be working out. And I know what happened. Chrome shut down. So I want to be careful regarding the YouTube broadcast. But here's what you guys need to know. The homeless people that are in Florida, many of them are going to get wiped out. Okay? So, according to some of the things going on with my Chrome, I might be actually having some trouble. So, let's see if we can get this thing to refresh on Chrome. You know, like I say, you always have to pray, because when we broadcast, the devil wants to stop us. The devil wants to stop us. And guess what? I ain't going to stop. I'm going to keep going forward. Somebody said, I like to scratch up. You know, no matter how much the devil tries to take me down, I'm scratching, I'm coming up. Well, here's the thing. My heart goes out to all the people who are struggling in many, many different ways, that are still in the street. And when this storm comes, if you're in homeless ministry and you're not educating the homeless how to survive the storm, first of all, they have no business being out there in the storm. Now, I have homeless people in my home right now, people in my home that they don't have a place to go. They don't have a place to call home. But there's people in the woods that I can tell you just by looking at the campsite, they're not going to make it. And shame on us if we don't take the next few days to say, hey, you got to get out of the woods. The storm that is coming is not like the usual. So how many of you that are in homeless ministries can get your pastors, get your homeless ministries in gear for the next day or two, and go out there, get those raincoats, tell them to get out of the woods. And those of them that say they're not going to leave their tents, well, you know what? If their tent is in a ditch, it's going to be flooded. And I believe we're going to have floods in Central Florida because of the amount of rain pouring down. When I told you that the Lord told me August was my month, what a lot of you did not understand was August was my month for a lot of my dreams and prophecies to come to pass. Let's say that again. A lot of dreams and visions, prophecies that God has given me personally. Would you like to hear one? How many of you remember me talking about me being in a van with other guys, and we talked about we were heading towards the East Coast because in the center of the USA there was a whirlwind of the Lord, and it represented wrath. It represented something that was coming upon America, and it was so huge. It was so huge. And in the vision, I remember hearing myself said, I got right with God just in time. I got right with God just in time. Folks, that is very prophetic. There are things coming upon America to shake it up, to wake it up, because some of you need to be woken up. You do. And unless something hard comes, you will continue in your ways. So here's the thing. Some of you are running out to the store. You're panicking because you're worried about you, yourself, and I, and you're not thinking about the homeless. You're not thinking about those that are less fortunate, and shame on you. You know, go get some raincoats. Go to the dollar store. Buy some ponchos. At least get some people coverage. This rain is going to be so hard. People are going to be soaked. And they're going to have to ride it out outside because the shelters are full. 320 beds is not enough for Central Florida. Sorry. I don't care how many billions of dollars, millions of dollars. I don't care how many CEOs got six-figure incomes. You ain't doing no good for the homeless if they're dying in this flood. They're dying in Irma, you know, and you know, you just got done seeing what happened in Houston. You saw what happened in Houston. So guess what? Guess what's coming to Florida? Another storm. But you got a few days to make a difference. You got a few days to help. So are you going to help? Are you going to make a difference? Please, this is the time to do something about it. This is the time that you can make a difference. And I'm trying to get you all on board to understand that we can make a difference together. We can make a difference together. And some of you are going to be watching me and saying, you know, I don't live where you're at, Joe. I'm not in Florida. Send me some blankets. Send me some tents. Go to chainsoffministries.org or .com. Either way, you'll get to my website. And we want to go out and rescue these homeless people and at least provide them with new tents and new blankets and facilities, because not everybody has a house to take in a few. And 70,000 homeless in Central Florida is too much. It's too many people. We're not going to be able to do very much, folks. So here's the thing. Are you going to help me? How about my friends in Kissimmee? Do you know there's no shelters in Kissimmee? Yes, my friends at Church in the Sun, where I used to do Monday night Bible studies for the addiction group. God bless you all there. And those of you that can open the doors during the times of the shelter, God bless you. And every church that can open the doors during the storm, God bless you. And every school that can open up its doors during this storm, God bless you all. God bless you if you do your part. Shame on you if you don't. God bless you and your family if you're not selfish and you're not thinking about you, yourself, and I. You want to run out to the store and get water. Okay, get a few extra gallons for someone else. Get a few extra things of food for someone else. Go get some provisions for someone else. Now, who's watching that is in homeless ministry? Who's watching me right now that's in homeless ministry? Please share this live broadcast to someone who does homeless ministry right here in Florida. Do you know how many ministries are feeding the homeless in Florida? Things that hurts is that the same homeless week after week after week are showing up. The same people with the same addictions week after week after week. But we got a homeless ministry. Jesus came to set the captives free. Amen? Jesus came to set the captives free, but why are they still captive? Are we preaching the gospel? Are we delivering those that are bound, not only by sin, but by demonic strongholds, by stinking thinking? I'm telling you, you can't fly like an eagle if you're behaving like a crow, always murmuring and complaining. You're sick, you're tore up from the floor up, and you're not behaving right. Well, these people need deliverance. These people need to hear the gospel of Jesus Christ. These people need a savior. And it's up to you people who claim to have homeless ministries to go out into the highways and into the byways and invite them into the house of God with love, not judging them, but loving them. And I'm so sick and tired of people acting like they love the Lord, but they're so ready to put a stick on somebody's head and say, shame on you. You need to quit drinking. Shame on you. You know what? Shame on you for judging them. God is trying to raise up people in the last day that will stand up and stand in the gap. Stand in the gap for our brothers and sisters that made some mistakes. Many of us are a check away from being homeless. Many of us could be out in the street. Would you lift your eyes and turn your head and walk away from me if I was in the street? How do you expect next year to be different if you keep behaving with the same hypocrisy as everyone else? Jesus says, you will know my disciples for their love for one another. Are you hearing me, man of God? Are you hearing me, woman of God? Love for one another. This is the determining factor if you're a sheep, if you're part of the fold of Christ. Not how many beds you fill in, not how many doors you can open, and not how big your offering plate is, sir. Shame on you if you think that the offering plate is the determining factor of your blessing. I'm here to share with you that in the last days, people would think that gain is a sign of prosperity and blessing. That is deceptive thinking. You are not following the gospel of the Bible. You need to re-examine the Word of God. And you need to understand that love conquers a multitude of sins, not your wallet. Love conquers a multitude of sin, not your donations. Love conquers a multitude of sins, not how often you show up on Sunday and sing in the choir. I mean, God bless you for having a voice and using your talents for the Lord. But what about those that need to hear the gospel of Jesus Christ? I'm asking you, will you preach the gospel? Will you share the love of God with someone who is less fortunate that needs to be encouraged? There are some people who have lost everything and they feel so discouraged, and now this storm is coming, and the only encouragement, the only love they might see is your face. They might only receive kindness if it comes from you. Do you have the ability to shut up? Do you have the ability to quit criticizing someone? Quit and start loving, because God is watching. God is watching. And I want to ask every ministry, all you who claim that you feed the homeless every week, you're feeding the homeless. I want you to do more than feed the homeless. You went through the trouble of getting this group together. I want you to ask them, what would it take to get you back into hopefulness and into society? Because a lot of people that have feeding programs, I ask them, please invite me to come speak so that I can put some fire into their heart and speak the word of God that brings life. See, there's life in the power of your tongue if you speak life. But if you're condemning and you're bringing people down, well, guess what? You're not helping anybody. God didn't come here to bring you down, but to lift you up. Of the Lord is upon me. The Spirit of the Lord was upon Christ. And the same Spirit should be upon you to raise up the brokenhearted, to heal, to cast out the devils, to help those that are struggling and feel tore up from the floor up. I want to encourage you all, whether you're watching me on Facebook Live, YouTube, or on Twitter, wherever you're watching me from, please, please be a light in a dark place. Wickedness is increasing in the last days. I think we all can agree that it's pretty dark out there. We can see wickedness all over the place, terror all over the place, hardships are all over the place, but it's up to us to lift one another up. Let's encourage one another. Be a man, be a woman. Let's put on the big daddy clothes and encourage somebody. And let's take off our hats and our scarves and let's get in the ditch and lift somebody out of the miry clay. I mean, if you were to see the Good Samaritan today, do you have what it takes to go rescue them? In a few days, there's going to be a storm. In a few days, there's going to be rain like never before. There's going to be this horrible, horrible weather. And many homeless are not going to heed the warnings to get out. And they're going to die in the woods. And a lot of them won't even see it coming because nobody took the time to evangelize in the woods. I know you're comfortable in your church parking lots. I know you're comfortable in your four walls, call a church. But can you get uncomfortable and do something for the homeless besides invite them to church? Anybody can invite somebody, but can you invite yourself to go walk a mile in their shoes? Please, while there's still time before the storm gets here, plead with them to come to your home. If you got room in your house and you can take in a homeless person that you know ain't going to hurt you, help them out. Do more than feed them. Do more than bring them a cup of water. They're going to need tents. They're going to need some food, yes. But that storm's going to wash all the provisions that you bring away. So you need to get your teams ready, because when the storm is over, the miry clay is going to be there. The mud is going to be there. And they're going to say, Pastor Joe, my tent got destroyed. And there's another ministry you guys need to be thinking about. Those of you that have a love for dogs, a love for cats, a love for animals. So here in Florida, we have so many animals, and we need to rescue. We need to, we need to do something about rescuing all the creatures that are out there. Now, the homeless, they have a whole lot of cats and dogs. But what I'm saying is we got seniors that are 70 years old out in the woods. We got people that are so old living out in the woods that they won't make it if you don't step up. They won't make it if you don't lend them a helping hand. And I'm not saying to give them a free handout. I'm saying cry out to them. Go seek shelter, because the storm that is coming isn't like the one last year. This is worse. You may not survive it. You may not survive it. We have to let them know. We have to let them know. So I'm asking you, brothers and sisters, for the next 3 days, if I come up here live and I come out here and I prove to you what we can do to make a difference, will you help me? Because if you can get me the raincoats, if you can get me the tarps, if you can get me the blankets, I can get it to the homeless. I have plenty of ministries that are friends of mine that work with the homeless. I have them on OBT. I have them on Colonial Boulevard. I have them in Orlando. I have them in Kissimmee. I have them in Tampa. I have them in Miami. They're all over. People who work with the homeless. And and I can get you their address and you can send them supplies. I have someone in Longwood. I have all kind of people. Chris Dunn starting a homeless ministry with his wife. You know, there's Gus, Miles of Help, homelessness. Surrender 40. My friends moved to Kissimmee now. Love to be able to do some homeless ministry again, because they were doing it in Miami and now they're here in Central Florida. Steve, if you're watching, God bless you, man. I haven't forgotten you. And my homeless friend, Ricky, I know you're watching. I saw you tune in. I have homeless people watching right now. Watching right now. They have their cell phones and they're out there. Now, some of them, they stepped up a little bit and got into a trailer. And that's a step up. And you know what? It's time to team up and do something. Because here's the facts, folks. An old man who served our military cannot survive what's coming. Did you hear what I said? An old man cannot survive the hurricane that is coming. Category 5, it might slow down to a 4. But Irma's no joke. Florida Keys is already being evacuated, if you didn't know that, because I know some of you are watching this from afar off. Florida Keys are already being evacuated. The islands are already getting pounded. Islands are already getting pounded as we speak. And in a few days, it will be here. Doesn't matter which direction it goes. The homeless in the woods are going to be affected. I don't have raincoats. I don't have the resources to give them all what they need. I don't even have hot cocoa. See, a lot of you stopped helping Chains Off Ministries, and I was a missionary out there every week. I had to take care of some parents for a couple of years. And it seems like you guys just forgot about me. Some of you were loyal friends, no matter what I was going through. And some of you knew about the events. I see you, Rita. I see you, Rita. And I know Rita helped us when I was on OBT in Americana. She lended me a generator and she came out and she helped with food. She helped out Tom in Kissimmee, a homeless man, with his wife. And, you know, Rita was a part of my ministry. Rhonda was a part of my ministry. Lori's a part of my ministry now. And many of you know what it is to ship tents to me, ship supplies to me, and you can still do that. You can send me help if you can't be out here, and I'll get it to where it needs to go. Now, I want to challenge some of you, because some of you are saying, I want to do homeless ministry and I don't know how. Well, guess what? What I know applies to and many people need to go into a program. When I meet with the homeless, I have to evaluate the situation, folks. So when you're helping me, you're not just helping someone who feeds the homeless. You're helping someone who has experience in discerning the problems, the strongholds, the demonic forces, and the things that keep people in bondage. Because let me tell you, they're not going to be responsible if they have an addiction to crack cocaine. They're not going to be responsible if they have an addiction to alcohol. They're not going to be responsible if they have a stronghold. I got to run to the store every 5 minutes. They don't know how to save. They don't know what a savings account is. There's so many strongholds. That's why we have to do something called Let's Evaluate. In most programs, it's required you're going to put a certain amount of money aside and you're going to save. And you're going to save whether you like it or not, or you're not going to be in the program. So they help you to help yourselves. Now, some of you have been wanting to learn how to do ministry, how to make a difference in the community. And I'm going to be looking for 50 people to join me in learning how to be a homeless, community urban leader who will help the community the right way. Yes, I will teach you how to help people the right way. The right way. And what I mean by that, I mean, let's say I come across someone, I'm going to ask them, how long you been homeless? Because see, this storm that's fixing to come, Irma, ain't no joke. It's going to create a lot more homeless. And when you ask someone how they become homeless, they said, my house was washed away by a storm. Are you going to be prepared for that? Are you going to be able to get them on a waiting list? Do you even know where the waiting list exists? See, a lot of you want to help, but you ain't trained, and you can't give what you ain't got. And again, you cannot pour into someone if someone has not poured into you. So maybe you need to consider something that I'm making available this winter, an association of outreach ministries, an association of people who really, really want to understand how to come across someone in the community, evaluate where they're at, and decide what is going to be the very next thing to do with them to get them the help they need. Some of you say, well, you need to go to the shelter. How do you know they need to go to the shelter? Did you talk to them and ask them, do they have a job? Do you know that most people at a shelter cannot work a regular job because the hours would conflict with the shelter's requirements for them to check in at a certain time? Did you know that a lot of people that work in construction are not going to make it by a certain time? And that a lot of shelters and programs will tell them to quit the job because they got to do a 1-year program first. See, every shelter has their requirements. Every program's got its requirements and issues. And the thing is sometimes the thing a person needs is transitional housing. So here's what I've done. I've interviewed 600 agencies. Some of them, all they do is provide food. Some of them, they help with employment services and help you navigate that whole aspect. The bottom line is you have to learn to discern the needs of a person, how to ask questions. And you do that by creating an atmosphere that is friendly, by offering them a meal and breaking bread with them. That is the first step. You break bread with someone who's in trouble. And when you're feeding them, guess what happens? Walls come down and they're willing to listen to what you got to say. I want you to tune in tomorrow, but I want you to invite people, folks, because I'm going to teach you how to minister to the homeless. I'm going to teach you how to be a part of an association of ministries where you can learn how to minister to the homeless correctly. I'm getting ready to launch a membership of associations, but I'm only going to take 50. Only 50. 50 of you. This winter, I want to train 50 of you. And if you're not in Florida and you want to be a part of this, write me an email. And I will present to you how you can do this in your area. Because here's the news. There's certain organizations I work with that are national. When somebody says, Pastor Joe, I need help, I need a food box, do you know I can give them a food box no matter what state they're in? When somebody says, Pastor Joe, my lights are about to go out, I've been working, but I just can't make ends meet, I can tell them where to go in any state in the U.S. and I can get them help. When someone says, Pastor Joe, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm about to get evicted, I need a little help, I can send them to a place anywhere in the USA and get them the help. See, Operation Black Sheep is my homeless ministry because some of us feel like the black sheep. Some of us feel like, you know what, no one cares. Some of us feel like, my God, what do I have to do to get some help? And I'm going to tell you something. All they have to do is ask, and God will make a way. God will make a way for help to come where there seems to be no way. Sometimes you feel like you're at the wall and there's nowhere to turn. And all you have to do is cry out to God, and God will hear your cry if it's sincere. God will hear you if you mean business. God will make a way where there seems to be no way, my brother, my sister. I don't care what your situation is. And some of you are wanting to learn how to minister to those that are tore up from the floor up. You want to minister to those that are addicted. You want to minister to those that don't have a home to call home, but you're not willing to take them into your home. And I understand not everyone can do that. Some of you got kids. Some of you got a situation where it might not be the safest thing to do. I had a woman one time trying to do ministry. She was in a 12-step program. She took a homeless person home and she had all her art stolen. So you have to have discernment. You have to have rules in place. You have to learn this ministry, just like you learn to be a preacher, just like you learn to be a teacher, just like you learn to take care of kids. You don't just do homeless ministry. I've been doing it for over 30 years. I've been working in the highways and the byways and helping people. And the thing is this, folks, discernment is asking the right questions, open-ended questions that get them talking so that they share with me. I've been homeless for 10 years. And when I ask them, have you been working all your life? And they say yes. And they say, I've worked all my life, Joe. I don't know what happened. The checks stopped coming. What does that tell you? How many of you know what that means? What does it mean the check stopped coming? Can anyone guess? Put it in the chat room. Put it in the chat room. Can you guess what it means? Put it in the comments. What does it mean that the check stopped coming? It means that a form wasn't filled out. A form wasn't filled out and the proper help wasn't able to continue. You're all invited, folks. You're all invited. God bless you all. You're all invited. You're all invited. You're all invited. God bless you. I see people like the buttons are popping up to invite people, and I'm not sure if I'm supposed to press those, but I just want to thank you all. God bless you all. And remember that, we're doing this in the name of the Lord, and we're trying to help people to get ready because the storm is coming. Irma is no joke, and we have to be ready. We have to be ready. Okay, so here's the thing. Will you help me pass the word out? How many ministries do you know in Florida that you can pass the word out and say, get them to go get those people out of the woods right now. My friend, Pastor, Tampa, tell them. Richard Peak, tell them in Tampa, don't stay in the woods. Don't stay in the woods, okay? I need you to help people get out of the woods, get out of the tents, go seek shelter. Schools will probably be open. Buildings will probably be open where you can get in there. And if they are, get out of the streets, get out of the highways, get out of the byways. You're all invited to help me with this ministry. And if you want to be part of the 50 handheld and meet with me on a weekly basis and learn how to do homeless ministry, let me know. I'm taking 50 people and I'm going to teach you how to do homeless ministries. This winter, we're doing a huge Thanksgiving event. We're doing a huge Christmas event, and I want businesses to join with me. I want ministries to join with me, and I got 50 people that I'm going to teach what I know from the past 30 years, and I'm going to pour it into you so that you can pour it into others. I want to clone myself and allow others to learn how to do ministry. And that means you 50, you're going to invest in yourself and go to school this winter and meet with me every week, online, in person. We're going to go hit the camps. We're going to have hot food going out. We're going to show you how to set up a tent. We're going to show you how to get permission to have a tent up on property, because you got to do things the right way, because you got to obey the laws of the land. And I want to encourage you, join me tomorrow night. Join me tomorrow night, but bring more people. How many of you will commit to inviting more people tomorrow night before the storm comes? Because here's what needs to happen. Every inner city, call the pastors and have an emergency meeting and say, let's get all the seniors out of the woods right now. Will you do that? Will you go down OBT, Cindy, with your team and tell them, get out of the woods. You got to be indoors for the storm that's coming. Tell the pastors on OBT, Resound, tell them, Tampa, tell them, Kissimmee, tell them, Chris Dung in Longwood, tell them, Surrender 40 in Kissimmee, tell them, let's get the homeless all the help they need, and let's go out into the highways and the byways and invite them into our homes. My house is already full. I can't take any more in. I have homeless people with me. I have guests with me. I'm not going to mention their names, but I'm telling you, do more. God's given you the ability to love. God's given you the ability to make a difference. God's given you the ability to make a way where there seems to be no way, and it's called love. Love conquers a multitude of sins, and these people that are in the woods have no one. God bless you guys for your parking lot events, but come on, get those tennis shoes on. Let's go into the woods and let's learn to do homeless ministry the right way. The right way. The right way. Tents are going to be blown away when this hurricane comes. Blown away and soaked. And all these things are going to be needing to be replaced. And this winter, I'm looking for businesses to join me to provide brand new tents, brand new blankets, socks for the homeless in Central Florida. Okay? Can you do that with me? Join me tomorrow night. Bring your friends, bring your business partners. And I'm not just looking for you to invest in blankets and tents and shoes, but I'm looking for 50 people who want to learn this ministry. I had some people who said, hey, I want to volunteer, Pastor Joe, but they had no patience. Oh, I want to be a part of the ministry. They had no patience to wait. I was in the middle of moving from one city to another. I had parents that I had to take care of, and I couldn't just be everywhere. I mean, there was many things I had to sacrifice. I had to close down a church that I had going for the homeless because of parents that needed to be taken care of. But guess what? The parents are with the Lord now. My mother is with the Lord now. Lori's mother's with the Lord now. Lori's father is with the Lord now. And I am free to do ministry as well as raise money for the ministry. And I'm building a new team that wants to go out in the highways and the byways for the purpose of teaching what I've learned over 30 years of how to help people ride out the storms of life, ride out the hurricanes, and get back up into society. And this happens when we're willing to get out of our comfort zone and say, I'm going to learn from a man of God that knows what it is to have compassion. I know what it is to be homeless and go to a church and they tell you, come here on Sunday and we'll pray for you. Trust me, when you're homeless, you want more than prayer. You want a place to lay your head and know that you're not going to be stabbed in the middle of the night. There's certain shelters I can't even refer to homeless to. There's certain organizations I can't even tell you about because they're evil. Some of these organizations, the CEO's making 6 figures. 6 figures. Some of them will be on the news. You know how much I make? Nada. I don't have a salary. I don't have a grant. But when somebody has compassion and sows into this ministry, yes. We have a nonprofit with the state of Florida, but I don't have the cost of other nonprofits. I don't have a salary on staff. I don't have buildings. But that is the next thing I want. I want to get houses. You know why? Because I'm tired of people saying we won't allow a shelter in the Central Florida area. Do you know we have a problem with shelters being built? Many churches are trying to have a shelter built and they're not allowed. But low-income housing is allowed. But if you have a felony, you're in trouble. So Pastor Joe has a solution. Come talk to me. chainsoffministries.org. Go to my website, hit the contact page, get in touch with me. We will talk and we will put a plan together. Now, if you're in ministry and you have a heart to learn homeless ministry, I'm looking for 50 people to train to go as an urban missionary into the woods, and I will train you, but only 50. And you're going to invest $300 to learn this, and you're going to go with me every week to learn how to do this. And you're going to be a part of the Thanksgiving Christmas celebration for the homeless. And some of you are going to want to invest into this anyway, not because you want to learn it, but because you want to sow into good ground. So go ahead and sow into good ground. Let me know that you care. But in the meantime, will you help these people that are in the path of Irma right now and get them out of there? It's been an hour now, and I'm going to go, but I want to tune in tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, and I challenge you to join me tomorrow at 9 and bring people with you, because what I'm going to share tomorrow is going to blow you away. The storm is getting closer, and I want to know tomorrow how many of you are going to go into the woods before Saturday. I want to hear testimonies. I challenge you to find people that will go rescue the homeless in Central Florida and get them out of the woods. Go rescue the seniors that are alone in the house, the animals that have no one to take care of them. I had a lady that I was talking to in chat today who has roosters and pigs, and she doesn't know what she's going to do with them, and she's in the path of the storm. Friends, I need your help. Pray for Florida. Pray for the islands. Pray for all these people who are being affected by Irma, and pray for the souls in the U.S. There is a shaking going on. There is awakening going on. The Lord wants us to be shaken. That was the dream and the vision God gave me. And now is the appointed time for the shaking. The things that are about to come upon the U.S. will shock you. And that's for another day. God bless you. Pray for me, and I will do the same for you. Good night, everyone, and God bless. Oh, there you guys are. Anybody in the chat room? All righty. I'm stopping the broadcast. God bless you all.